Hello everybody, and welcome back to Asagao Academy Normal Boots Club. In the last episode, we got over our little argument with PBG, and now we're moving on to the big game that he stressed out, which was apparently, the main cause of the argument. So today, we're gonna look at the game. The sports game. If you sport. The afternoon of the big game. The sun was hot and the air was heavy. The humidity was almost unbearable. Going outside felt like walking into an indoor swimming pool. Well, the humidity. Okay, got it. It was finally half-time at the soccer match. The score was even 3-3, but Asagao's biggest rivals, the Morai Fates, were being extremely aggressive. One player in particular already got a yellow card and was consistently getting into minus scrapes. So far, no one was hurt, but there were plenty of moments where Asagao might have been able to score had they not been avoiding risky lunges. Apparently distressed. Ellipses. It wasn't looking good. PBG was in great form, but stress had taken its toll. His hair was matted with sweat, and beads of it rolled down his face. He waved his arms around vigorously, talking to Jeff, who was being just as enthusiastic back. Doesn't look like it's going very well. I don't worry, we just got to believe in the team.
Well,
They can do it. If you say so. I didn't feel good about this one, not at all. PBG and the rest of the team jogged back onto the field. He got into position this time as center forward, directly opposing the rogue player of Morai. I have a bad feeling about this. Jesus. The whistle blew as my turn to me. If you keep acting like that, you're gonna drag the whole team down. Come on, why can't you? PBG! I mean, I assumed he was injured, but that's not an injury sound. That's like fuck this. PBG was on the ground, holding his head, his leg, and writhing in pain. The rogue player stood above him with a smirk on his face. Yeah, I sure got you. Now you get to take a penalty shot. I got you. Woohoo. No! Sounds like you fucking died. Jesus Christ. You got a leg injury. The Asagao students in the stands lost their mind. Foul words flew around us. If anything, it seemed a riot was imminent. Generally, you don't riot at home. Or maybe you do. I don't sports, so I don't really know. The referee ran out onto the field. I guess they're not really on the field, are they? They're surrounding the field. And spoke to PBG. He shook his head and tried to stand on his leg, only to instantly collapse again. It seems his quadricep had fully pulled off of his, I want to say knee, but that's, I don't know if it's actually connected to the knee area. I would assume it is, but I don't know. His hamstring muscles had torn out of place and rolled up into the top of his leg.
what?
I don't understand. What happened? That player basically trapped PBG's ankle between his feet and twisted it on purpose.
I can't believe this.
Looked like some kind of judo move. I'm sorry? I don't know if there's a move in judo where you just snap someone's ankle by moving your legs slightly. I don't think that's accurate. That was not judo. I'm just giving him random voices now. Finally, a stretcher arrived from the main building, along with Mr. McPasta. I'm sorry. Mr. McPasta. That's the nurse. I'm shaking my head in discontent. Miscontent? Discontent. I don't know. A lack of content. BBG was gently placed onto the stretcher and rolled off the field. My heart sank as I watched him roll past me, his face contorted in pain. How are we going to win without BBG? He's our best player. Jeff can't handle the rest by himself.
No.
I can't stand here. I'm gonna check on PBG, okay? Sorry,
No.
I can't stay here. It's not stand. See, that stand, it puts a little more aggression into it, but I can't stay here. I'm gonna go check on PBG, okay? You can't go into the nurse's office. They won't even let you in. I patted him and Mai on the shoulders and stood. I'll make them let me in. I wanted to do another voice for him. Damn it. I'm just gonna go back and do the voice. So think you can go in... You can't go in the nurse's office. They won't even let you in. That was almost German. I couldn't explain why seeing PBG in pain left me feeling so uneasy, but I felt like I was going to be in constant stress until I saw him. What if he was hurt? Worse. Okay. What if he was hurt worse? What if his leg was broken? As I scurried to the nurse's office, I tried to keep the worst possibility out of mind. He was permanently paralyzed from a sprained ankle. Oh, no! It's so possible! But it kept whispering through like a ghost. PBG wouldn't be able to play anymore. There was no way. This wasn't a spinal injury. He didn't get fucking hit in the back of the head and cause a serious concussion, or he doesn't have a history of knee injuries. He didn't blow out his knee. He didn't... I mean, Maya already explained, it just says something to do with his ankle. I mean, there are a lot of bones in the foot and ankle region, so, you know, I guess it's possible. But I can't see it happening like that. I opened the door to the nurse's office myself. It was still and quiet, a far cry from the chaos up the soccer field. The sun was pouring through the open window, curtains fluttering slightly in the breeze. I glanced around for Mr. McPasta, but he was nowhere to be found. PBG's legs formed long lumps underneath the bed. Underneath a bed. Why is he underneath a bed? Do you mean like underneath the sheets of a bed? Or do they have special beds in Japan that you just go into? You just kind of go right into the bed. I don't know. Oh, sorry. His feet sticking up in the air like flags. It didn't seem like anyone else was sick. I slipped through the curtains that were still hung around him for privacy and pulled a stool up next to his bed. He lay still, eyes closed. Was he sleeping? How could he have fallen asleep so fast? Then it hit me. He hadn't been sleeping before this. Of course he fell asleep. In the distance, see, generally when you use Then it hit me. Generally, you have something, like, really surprising and popping, not... He hadn't been sleeping. Of course he's sleeping. Anyways, in the distance I heard cheers. I stood and peeked out the window, seeing as Asagao's students in a frenzy and the players cheering. Somehow, we had still managed to win. I sat back down and brushed PBG's hair out of his face. Mr. McPasta obviously helped him clean up a bit, as his face was no longer covered with dirt and the sweat of the game. Why the fuck is your face covered in dirt? I mean, I guess if you're sliding really hard, then maybe some dirt could come up and hit you in the face, but otherwise, I just don't see it. I glanced at his legs, snug under the sheets. I couldn't tell what was wrong. Should I take a peek? I mean, I know this isn't an 18-plus game, so you're not going to flip open the sheets and just find them at full mast or something, so I guess I'm going to look. PPG shifted as I glanced at him. Ugh. He blinked a few times and looked up at me.
Hana.
Hana, what are you doing here? Oh, the game. The game. Did we win the game? What happened? I glanced towards the open window. We won. He scanned my face and frowned. What's wrong? I glanced at his leg and bit my lip. His face fell. Don't tell me. Mr. Miss, I feel like I recognize his face, but I do not recognize that name. If you don't mind... Where did you come from? I've been here the whole time.
What?
PPG, I am sorry to say that you won't be playing anymore this season. PPG's eyes fell. He didn't say anything. The injury itself isn't so incredibly bad, but it will take a few weeks to heal. At this point, the stress of practicing and playing would prevent it from healing properly. If you try to push it, this improper healing will cause scar tissue and forever limit the strength and flexibility of your leg. Please do not try to play. See, the German accent doesn't sound right unless you have those weird... unless you have THs and Ws just everywhere. Then it doesn't quite sound like a German accent. Even fucking around campus will be more than enough stress. This campus is so poopin' loose. This campus is so pooping huge. Poopin'? I'm sorry, PBG. I put a hand on his arm, and he didn't react. It's okay. The team won this game, right? They're in line to do pretty well this season. You're their captain, and they've done a great job. You've done a great job training them. Excuse me. So, a gentle hand rested itself on my shoulder, and I looked up at Creeps. Why does Creeps have a capital C? Or is his name Creeps? I'm sorry. Creeps McPasta. I feel like I recognize that, actually. Creeps McPasta? Maybe, yeah. You know what? Sure, why not?
Miss Mizuno.
That's not German. I think it would be best if you let him rest a bit. Yes, sir. I stood and, with one last pat on PBG's shoulder, left. Just as I got to the door, I remembered something.
PBG.
PPG. Ellipses. He was crying. I turned back around and left the room, pretending I saw nothing. I couldn't believe this happened to him. This was his worst nightmare. Wasn't there some way I could help him? But as I headed back to my room, a small, self-satisfied thought popped into my head. I told him so. I think this just confirmed all of my beliefs that she is the worst person. Just the worst. Just the worst. I kind of want to end the episode right here. I won't, because we're only 15 minutes in, but, you know. I'll take this slide and you can mime the movements while I'm... PBG, are you listening? Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? It was the day after PBG's injury. His knee was wrapped in a brace and his ankle was stiffly bandaged to keep it from moving too much. He shouldn't even be walking on it, but he insisted on coming to class as if everything was normal. I'll read this side and you can do the movements. I'll read this slide and you can do the movements. Guess they're trying to do a presentation. Sure. Ellipses. No matter what I tried, it was as if he was on another planet. Hey, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm fine. Are you sure? You can always come and talk to me if you need to. Ellipses. I don't want to be rude, but you're not the easiest person to talk to about this. What? What do you mean? He sighed. This is exactly what you said would happen. A hot jet of shame roared down my back. Yeah, but... What? I mean, I don't know how you can be pissed at I guess you can be pissed at a person for saying, I told you so. I can sort of understand that. But you can't be pissed at a person for getting the prediction right. What? I mean, you can be pissed at yourself for not listening, I guess. Maybe that's his self-loathing coming through and manifesting in a form that kind of seems to be pissed at other people, but I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. I don't want to talk about it. It's not my fault I was right. Sorry. It's not my fault I was right. The rest of the day passed slowly by. PBG didn't end up getting any better. Mostly, he just stared at his desk and tried to move as little as possible. And I wasn't the only one who noticed. Ellipses. Still, there was nothing we can do. You know what, the first episode this week was pretty long, so I think I'm just going to leave it off here, because I don't know when the next scene's going to start. Yeah, there's probably going to be an extensive conversation here. And I'm getting pretty tired, because it is 4:09 a.m., which is just wonderful. So, if you like this video, or dislike this video, rating system is down below. You can favorite the video, you can share it on social media, you can follow me on Twitter if you want. And if you want to stay up to date on these things, Asagao Academy and whatever series I end up starting after this to fill in the gaps. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. I like subscribers. It's a nice number to see grow or diminish. It's not so nice to see it diminish, but you know, that's how it works. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. I am the Morbid Hobo, and goodbye.